Everyone, and welcome to the Prince Magnum Channel, where hot rodding and romance do coexist. I'm your host, Prince Magnum. Welcome to another live stream. All right, it's good to see you all. This is kind of an impromptu sort of live stream, but we're going to touch base on a lot of changes that you all have probably started to notice about the channel, and probably should address some of those things, including some changes that are definitely going to be coming about here for the new year. Okay, it's 2019. The Prince Magnum channel has been around pretty heavily now for the last we're coming up on 4 years. We've been rocking and rolling, and the big that's when the real big push began. I've got a video that goes all the way back to 2010, and it's one of my favorites to go back and look at because it's also very painful to look at. But the real push has been coming up on, believe it or not, 4 years ago. That being said, the landscape for the Prince Magnum channel is definitely going to be making some serious changes. First and foremost, Off the Chain is going to be kind of undergoing a facelift. We're going to review some old video games. Actually, let me rephrase that. Off the Chain is going to be kind of changing. It's going to be more focused on my capabilities as a magician, and it's going to be focused a lot more on the music aspect that I enjoy doing for all of you here on the Prince Magnum channel. So that's where that is going to be changing. It's still going to have elements of comedy in there, but the main focus, above all, is going to be magic and music. Probably not together, but you get the general idea. Sober talk. There's really not going to be any change. The only thing that will kind of remain the same is whenever I'm doing sober talk, the shades have to go back on for those videos. For a lot of the videos, I've had to say, as much as I would love to, kind of stay behind the shades and everything, I just, for safety's sake and trying to see what I'm working on, my eyesight is horrible. I'm actually due for glasses, and unfortunately, it's getting to the point where trying to do a lot of videos with the shades on, I just can't do it. So for sober talk, they will go back on as part of the anonymity thing. Obviously, I'm still not giving out my real name on YouTube. For the simple fact that it's even though I was anonymous as a $1 bill when I got sober, let's face facts. AA has its traditions, and I try to abide by them as much as I can. All right. So that being said, that the landscape is changing for a few things so far, but you kind of see where this is going. Do-it-yourself budget hot rodding. The landscape's really not changing all that much, other than we're just going to see a little bit more Project Lena than we have in the past. So that as far as that goes, do-it-yourself budget hot rodding will not really be changing all that much. There's going to be a lot more focus. I mean, we spent a lot of time doing car shows this last year, and constantly it was kind of like, it kind of broke my heart that Spirit didn't bring home as many trophies as she had been, and a lot of that boils down to it. I'm just going to have to put the work in to bring home those trophies, because she's got 5 trophies in a total of 9 car shows, and I'd like to, kind of stay above 500 if you catch my drift. It's nice to have stuff like that collects dust. So we're really going to have to buckle down. So pretty much in the next, probably about the next week or two, we're really gonna be gearing up. I've got a ton of parts over here, kind of right in behind me, for Project Spirit. We're gonna keep her a stick for as long as we can, but we're not gonna be able to do that forever. And I know we've talked about that. We'll talk more about that in upcoming videos and upcoming Q&As, which brings us to Surviving Romance. I want to thank all the ladies on the song that was selected for the our 5-year wedding anniversary. You ladies, had a lot of opinions, and the debate was really awesome. listening to all of you and getting your information. We narrowed it down to two songs. Let all the ladies of the Maverick Nation select those songs. You all, again, thank you all so much for selecting the song. It's going to be an interesting challenge. I have not really done that one anywhere live since high school, and that was in the high school choir. So I'll be doing this one solo to my old music teacher, Terry McFeeters. You better be, if you're out there and you know about the Prince Magnum channel, you better be tuning in. But anyhow, all right, so that's where all that stands. Surviving Romance. We're gearing up for some different videos. There's going to be a lot more focus on Surviving Romance and do-it-yourself budget hot rodding because of the main fact that that's really the crux of what makes the Prince Magnum channel what it is. We're going to be, for old video games, I started to briefly mention, we're going to be hitting that up in a look into our past. We're going to be kind of pushing that one more towards the forefront because during the time that there is downtime, that we're not doing cooking and the other, other stuff like that, and we're not working on cars, we got to have content. We got to have content. And I'll be honest with you, we're going to review old video games from the Atari 2600 to the original NES library. And there's going to be there's a video that'll be coming out talking more about that. And it's the first time in the history of the Prince Magnum channel we have to put health warnings on our videos because video game developers back then were jerks. They didn't take into consideration. I tease, they really weren't jerks. They just didn't really think about people who had epilepsy. So that's going to be something new for a lot of you. We're also going to be doing some more stuff for the veterans for a look into our past, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Live streams will be cut down a little bit. They were really bringing in people, but unfortunately, like any good thing, if you if you keep doing it so much, unfortunately, it gets old pretty quick. So that's kind of where we're at on that. So we're going to kind of cut back on the live streams. We're going to be focusing more on the edited stuff because now, I think there are times the live streams are great and there are times that the live streams are not so great. When I'm pushed for time and there's a lot of information that you guys could really benefit from, I'm not able to give you as much as I could in a live stream. So we're going to really focus a little bit more on the those videos. We're going to focus a lot more on the actual edited videos, which we already have a great deal of to be released soon. I've been hard at it. That's why y'all haven't heard that much from me. Again, the Prince Magnum channel landscape is changing. We're going to be doing a little bit of work here very soon with another YouTube channel known as Sketch Squad TV. They do a lot of live stream video game stuff, and they're awesome people. As a matter of fact, I know the guy who really runs that channel, Jammin' John, as I'll call him. John is an amazing guy. I never met anyone who was quite as animated as myself. Because he's just very off the wall, very friendly. I don't think there's a hateful bone in this guy's body whatsoever, including anyone that he brings into, his channel. And I've enjoyed some of his live streams, and he's, enjoyed some of my stuff as well. And we've been constantly for a little while now, but kind of going back and forth, putting each other's channels out there for everyone to, go check this person's work out, and he's been doing the same for me. So very soon, the Prince Magnum channel will hopefully be able to sit down and actually do actual real live stream crossover stuff with Sketch Squad TV, where I will be performing magic. We might be doing a walk around a Project Spirit, and hopefully a little bit later on down the road, we'll actually get to do live streaming from inside Project Spirit going down the road. In the midst of all of this, Jammin' John and I have talked about doing a Kickstarter fund to help speed up the process of getting Project Spirit more show worthy. I mean, this is going to happen regardless, but we're looking at speeding up that process and getting Project Spirit a little better geared for car shows. Because let's face facts, you all like to know when Project Spirit brings home trophies, and we haven't been able to do that. So when competing at that level, these cars are great looking, they're awesome. Project Spirit's amazing in her own right, but we're at that stage where people have gotten used to her, and despite how amazing she really is, it is a car show, and it's all about the presentation of, how does it look? So we're at that stage where we're going to have to ramp up our game. You know, um, so that's where that stands. And let's face facts, Project Spirit, like a lot of vehicles her age, as cool as it is to say, well, this is still original, that's still original, blah 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 blah, she needs help, because a lot of those original parts have worn out, you know. So that's where we're at on that. So Jammin' John is actually willing to jump on board with Sketch, and bring in Sketch Squad TV and help the Prince Magnum channel out. By the way, he does a lot of giveaway stuff and raises money to help needy children who are actually laid up in the hospital. So to me, his channel is freaking awesome. Okay, so again, the landscape changing again, and of course, the Prince Magnum channel will be doing work in helping raise money for those sick children. See, that's what it's all about. On top of that, we're again, the landscape is changing. We're hoping to do more work with other people in the community, kind of showing off other rides besides the ones on our channel. We're focusing a great deal on trying to help the community, and kind of we just got through with a very tough election here in St. Francis County. We just got rid of a lot of very corrupt individuals in office, and right now the political landscape here is kind of reeling from that. A lot of changes have happened. So the Prince Magnum channel has also taken kind of a, let's step back and let the new people kind of get into position, get situated, because we got a lot of ground to cover while they're in office. The new prosecutor is going to obviously need the help that we have to provide in bringing a lot of people to justice who are supposed to be representing the state, but they don't. Okay. So, people within division, the division, children's division, DFS, Division of Family Services, because that's all they do is divide families. And St. Francis County is a great place to start. Along with, I feel sorry for our prosecutor, but at the same time, she's probably about to make her career on just the case that the Prince Magnum channel has presented for the past couple of years now, which we should never have had to present that case. Okay. And it's going to lead us down some rabbit holes that are going to be amazing in so many rights. We're taking a step back and being smart about approaching this, because our new prosecutor is going to be very overwhelmed. She's got a heavy caseload, okay? And if you knew my real name, I'm probably a little, if she goes alphabetical order, I'm kind of, I guess you could say since about 2000, there's been corruption up until this last election, and now pretty much almost 20 years of nonstop corruption within St. Francis County. Our prosecutor is going to have a heavy workload, and the Prince Magnum channel will help wherever we possibly can. So that being said, we're taking a kind of a step back approach, and we'll help. We're also taking a new approach to how we deal with law enforcement. We've been kind of already doing this anyways, but we're going to take a more proactive role with this. The Prince Magnum channel has done its part in kind of going down rabbit holes when it comes to dealing with some of the issues that law enforcement deals with. But every time we start going down that rabbit hole, it always leads us back to the politicians. it always leads us to the politicians. So why don't we just skip the middleman and focus on the politicians? Because in the end, the problem is that police officers end up becoming everything but what they're not supposed to be. Okay, and it's all because of the politicians wasting money, wasting resources that the police officers need to be doing what they're supposed to be doing, which is getting the criminals off the streets so we can all be safe, because that's why they got into law enforcement, is to protect the community trust. And every time I start going down that rabbit hole, it always leads me right back to the politicians. So we're going to take that proactive role and support law enforcement, okay? And which brings us to how the landscape of the Prince Magnum channel has changed, okay? Because we're taking this proactive role, there's another YouTuber, and he knows who he is. This guy has done everything he can in the last several months. I've got enough email. I mean, I would have to go back and really to really kind of make himself the enemy of the Prince Magnum channel, and that's not what I'm about anymore. You know, it's all about making friends and being helpful to people, and I don't want to get involved in that. But we're in this stage where he's done everything he possibly can. Okay, he attacks the homosexual community, which is, you know, very discriminating. Okay, and the Prince Magnum channel takes an active role in not being discriminating, and in the process of that, you know, it upsets Princess Feyru because she's bisexual. Okay, I knew this the moment long before I married her. Okay, so I was okay with this. All right, and knowing this, he'll still attack the homosexual community with total disregard to my own wife. Called him out on it, told him what was what, and and offered a challenge that both of us could walk away unscathed. Okay, all he would have to do is, if he felt this way in the eyes of his God, is he right or wrong? Would he defend himself in the eyes of his God? And he apologizes not to Princess Faye, who was really hurt by this. He apologizes to me, and then a couple of days later retracts it like a coward. Okay, he's not even a man, he's a muh. Okay, on top of that, every chance he gets, he attacks women. So he's a chauvinist. Okay, it's nonstop where he attacks women. The one person that decked his lights, put him, socked him right in the mouth. Evidently, I mean, we didn't get the whole story. We haven't gotten the whole story, and because of this, the person in question here, the YouTuber in question, he doesn't want me to do that. Okay, he knows he doesn't want me to do that because there would be a lot exposed. Okay, he doesn't want me to go down that rabbit hole. All right. I've got enough information right now to shut his new channel down again. Okay. So I'm going to ask him this one time. Okay. Because he's already lost his first channel over a whole stunt that he could have edited out, but somehow in his head, he doesn't even. I'm beginning to wonder if he's really as sane as he claims he is. Actually, I don't have to wonder. But the thing of it is, he doesn't want me to do what I can do. So I'm going to ask him openly to not only the Maverick Nation, but what remains of the Burt heads. Okay. You don't want me to do what I can do. So I'm going to ask you to leave the Prince Magnum channel alone. Okay. Leave us alone. We're having a good time. And it basically boils down to, I have stayed quiet despite the fact that you pulled your cowardly stunts and everything. I've remained quiet, okay? And you continue to backbite. You've got my attention, okay? So about one more infraction of bothering me, and I will go so far as to tell people where you live, because you have had a lot of people who want you strung up from the tallest tree in the county. And you don't want me to do that. So I'm going to ask you to leave me alone. All right? I can't seem to help you. I'm not that kind of professional, okay? I'm retired from the medical field. I'm not that kind of professional. I can't help you. So I've left you alone, okay? To find your way, all right? But you've continued to backbite me and then call me a backstabber. No, you are the backstabber. You need to back down, because if you don't back down, I will do something about it. And just for the record, the authorities do know where you live, and I didn't have to tell them. If you get mail, they know where to find you. If you use the internet, they know where to find you, okay? So just be thankful that because you use the internet, that people haven't decided this is how much that no one really cares about your channel, about you, okay? So do yourself a favor, leave me alone. I'll still be your friend. I just can't help you, so I've left you alone. There's an old saying in AA that an old timer said, if you can't help them, leave them alone, because all you're going to do is hurt them, okay? So I've done that, but now you have crossed that line, okay? Long time ago. And I've stayed quiet, and basically I got my belly full. I've had it up to here with you, okay? You leave me alone, or it's going to get rough, okay? Really rough. You've been warned. Last warning. Some people, anyhow. So back to, the changing landscape. See, the landscape had to change. So along with all of this, kind of having to push away someone and then bringing in someone to do do positive stuff with, okay? That's going to be our focus, is positive positive stuff. And I guess you could say I've always been doing this sort of thing, but now we're really going to, the Prince Magnum channel is making a clear, positive statement. We are a do-it-yourself channel, okay? By far, we are a do-it-yourself channel, okay? And Princess Faye points us out, but unfortunately, every other title I come up with, it always ends up going back to what it originally was. Even do-it-yourself budget hot rodding is almost a redundant title, because it is all about do-it-yourself stuff. But anyhow, in the end, we are a do-it-yourself channel, but if anything, I'm going to warn you again, not a comment from you. Okay. Where was I? Our main focus is showing all of you how to enjoy life to its fullest without a drink or a drug, okay? Because here in Missouri, the landscape has even changed a little bit, even in regards to use of marijuana. And I've got a funny feeling with this change, we're going to see an influx of more people coming in to AA who's got more problems than just alcohol. And I could see it already, okay? The writing's on the wall, if you will. So the focus of the Prince Magnum channel, this has always been the bottom line. Having fun, enjoying life, and that sort of thing. All right, folks. I had warned Bert, and he's putting comments on here. He is still in St. Francis County. He's not in Bonne Terre. Do I need to go further? I didn't think so. Anyhow. Some people just don't learn. It's like, stop it. Wrong pack. Anyhow. Where was I? All right. Back to the task at hand. The bottom line for the Prince Magnum channel is going to be focusing on do-it-yourself stuff, enjoying life without a drink or a drug. that's again, it's we've always kind of done that, but now that's going to be the main focus. We're going to really push towards the positive aspect of it all. Um, Along with this, um, you know, we're not going to, we're not going to do any more, we're unless we are left in a situation where we kind of have no choice. In Your Face is going to be focused on kind of bringing certain things to light, yes, but on the notion that this is what needs to change, and this is where this person might be able to begin, and if they don't basically begin, then we got to kind of go a little bit deep, there's not going to be so much this hard hitting In Your Face. We're going to kind of scale it back, because I'll be honest with you, I really don't enjoy digging around like that. I hate it. As a matter of fact, I was looking at doing one on a particular celebrity that I mean, there was a movie that was supposedly based on his life back in the '80s, and I just honestly, I've kind of grown to where, is that really the direction? So what? You know, is it going to change anything? Not really. Uh, let's focus on positive stuff. After a couple of years of having to do nonstop negative stuff, we're at that stage where I just don't want to do negative stuff anymore. I just don't want to do it. I want to help where we can to try to bring as much of the right stuff, especially to the community. Again, we've had nearly 20 years of corruption here in St. Francis County, and you know, our current prosecutor's got a heavy workload, and I think right now we've tore down the house of evil, I guess you could say, here in the county. Let's focus on where we need to begin, and there really there's even going to be a focus on challenges towards helping um, helping certain religious groups in the right direction. There's, basically it's like, well, you guys want this. Well, I'm going to challenge you to do this so we can go in this direction. Things like that. A lot of positive. So we're changing the landscape a great deal. Um, Again, we're doing what we can here on the channel, because that's what it's all about. I know I need to contact the Red Cross, because it's time for me to donate blood again, and I would like to actually be able to do a video where I'm actually donating blood for the Red Cross and giving actual information about the history of the Red Cross. I knew they went back to the First World War, but I believe they may even go back further than that, as far back as the Civil War. So there's going to be a big focus on that, and you know, that's the real positive aspect of what we're trying to do. The Prince Magnum channel is taking a proactive community in a positive light. We're taking a different road. We're taking the high road. Wow, the high road. A YouTuber taking a high road. That's what we're going to do. Okay. So unfortunately, for those that enjoyed crossovers with a certain other YouTuber, he's not taking that positive high road. He's not, as much as he tries to say, he's not doing it, and he likes to attack me regularly. And we have the emails and everything, including some of the ones he probably doesn't want certain psychiatrists to see. Um, yeah, I save all that stuff. You should see my email inbox. You know, so it's one of those things where we had to change a few things. So unfortunately, until this person gets right and really gets right, can't do it. Can't do it. We're not going down that hole anymore. It's a dirty, dirty place, and I don't like it. Okay. So that's kind of where we stand right now. The Prince Magnum channel is changing a great deal, and it's going to be all focused on positive. Hopefully, I don't have to, I guess you could say, in the proverbial sense, strap on my sword and defend, defend what's right. Um, because I think we're at a stage where I think as human beings we've evolved enough where, yeah, there's sometimes that you have to, in the proverbial sense, strap on your sword and defend what's right. But I think we're in the stages, and hopefully you never have to actually do it for real. But you know, we're at a stage now where maybe it's time to, here in St. Francis County, we've had enough where we've had to tear it down. Now it's time to rebuild. Okay, and that's where the Prince Magnum Channel stands right now. Okay, so I think we covered all the bases. Look forward to me getting a hold of Sketch Squad TV and the Red Cross and maybe a few other YouTubers out there. I know I would like to, if he's willing, I'd like to do something with the gentleman who runs BST4 channel and that sort of thing. I'd like to do more with them. We've kind of chit chatted, chit chat tallywhack between us all, but not haven't had enough time to actually do. He lives up in Detroit and all that, and we've not had the opportunity to. I think he lives up in Detroit. I know it's up there somewhere around Michigan. And that sort of thing, and we've not been able to work. There's another YouTube channel I'd like to do work with. I've got to get in touch with them. So we're at that stage where it's a real focus on the positive aspects, trying to reach as many people as possible. Because I think kind of across the country, we've the last couple of years has been pretty dark and dreary. So we need to really focus on doing something good. All right, I'm starting to ramble, so I'm going to put a stop to myself. All right. So, all right, as usual, okay, be sure to follow me on Facebook, even though I haven't been on there much lately. We've got some new equipment that we're working with, and I'm still getting the hang of it all and getting everything transferred over to the new equipment. On top, so just kind of bear with me if you're trying to hook up with me on Facebook. I haven't been much on Twitter, so I haven't, again, transferring stuff over, so I've not been able to do anything there, but just hang tight with me. On top of that, so just, bear with me. I will get to y'all as quickly as possible. On top of that, again, different videos, got a lot of good stuff coming out. So sit tight. We're even going to have to revisit some old subjects, positive subjects, obviously. Along with that, check out the Patreon account. If you have anything to donate, always helpful. Be sure to keep yourself posted for whenever we're able to do stuff with Sketch Squad TV, because those guys are awesome. They also do stuff on World of Warcraft, and I know some old secrets to World of Warcraft, so I'm hoping to sit down with Jam and John and actually talk about that. So that'll be awesome. Maybe be able to lead him to some of these really cool spots that I know about. Along with that, along with all of that, yeah, that pretty well covers it. All right. As always, get out there and work on a project. I don't care what it is. Just do something with yourself, okay? Idle hands and a creative mind make horrible bedfellows, Don't live that pipe dream. If you think it up, go do it, okay? As long as it's legal. You know where I'm at on that. All right. Along with that, if you have a sweetheart, sweep them off their feet. Do something special for them today, okay? Seriously, do something special for them, all right? And as always, even for people that have ticked me off, if no one out there has told you that they love you, Prince Magnum does. God bless you, and have a happy 24. Thank you.